Hey guys, this is a market update. Insanely good news for Ethereum over the last few hours, but for all of crypto. The anti-crypto crusade seems to be coming to an end. And if we get a little bit more positivity in crypto and the Ethereum ETFs, that's great news for this cycle. That could set us up for a big cycle. This just happened. So the SEC is now asking for amended 19b4 filings. That's what they usually ask for before approving an ETF. They were going to deny this up until the last few days, but something has flipped. The sentiment has flipped. The Democrats are running around saying this policy is wrong. We need to be actually more pro-crypto. This could set us up for a huge cycle. So we'll go through some of the implications in this video. We'll look at both Bitcoin and Ethereum charts, both looking incredibly positive from a TA standpoint. So this is Bitcoin. And what we've done is recovered the whole bear market. We broke out of both of these kind of resistance zones, right? This was a distribution here. This was the all-time high distribution. What we've done is got a new all-time high. We've distributed down, found support at this level, literally bounced off of it in 2 weekly candles, which is confirmation, into the all-time high again. This just shows you buyers are here. Buyers are here. We're at an all-time high again, right? So this cycle is playing out. It's a bull market. Buyers are still here. And I think this chart, you can't read anything other than it's going a lot higher into price discovery. So that's how I read this. It's incredibly bullish, I think. This is ETH as well, which has been lagging. Yes, because of the kind of ETF filed and everything like that. If you just look at the chart, this whole bull market, we've just been making higher highs and higher lows over time, right? Things are actually getting more volatile, which is exactly what happens in a bull market. You get more volatility up and down. But that's that price discovery. Now, we're not in that for ETH yet because we're still under the all-time high. You can see the price levels here. Rejected from a resistance zone, came into a support zone, huge breakout. Now, this relies on the ETF, of course, which seems to be more positive right now. So ETH has a long way to go, and it usually outperforms towards the end of a cycle. Very, very good charts, technically. We're in a huge bull market, in my opinion. If you do trade, check out the deposit bonus down in the description to Bybit. It's the platform I use, up to $30,000 as a deposit and trading bonus. If you make a deposit on there, you can check the details via the link below. What has changed over literally the last few days is political sentiment towards crypto. The anti-crypto faction has lost power, clearly. You can see here the SEC is now asking for amended 19b4 filings. This is what usually happens before an approval of an ETF. So this is very good news. Up until last week, everyone was convinced that the ETF was going to get rejected. So what's happened here? Political sentiment has shifted, and now this is potentially an election issue in an election year, and they're saying, you know what, we can't be anti-crypto. We can't just destroy this whole thing. So the Bloomberg boys are increasing their odds of an approval from 25 up to 75%. It's not just the ETF though, it's the signal that it gives, right? It could signal a major shift in US crypto policy. Now that's important for investment flows into the industry, and that can help every crypto asset for this cycle. But if you're looking at Bitcoin and Ether's ETF assets, let's say, the shift in policy can signal that people can invest in this stuff again. Venture capitalists can invest, create new protocols, new tokens. That creates a flywheel where you have more investment, you have more protocols being launched, you have more incentives over new tokens. That puts a bid underneath the L1 assets because you buy the L1 asset to then use a protocol or get an airdrop or something like that, which is yield. So you can push up the price of the L1 asset to get that. So the investment flows, higher investment flows, right? More capital into the space equals the space growing in size. And so that is this cycle. If this happens, if this shift happens, the crypto policy actually shifts to be more positive, then it's not just the ETFs and the flows there, but it just sets us up for this whole entire cycle. So before we had crypto wants to be destroyed, we have to vote in someone else, to now, this is a political issue and both sides need to actually have positive policy towards crypto. This shift is fantastic news. We're not going to win every single battle. However, the war is going to be won, right? Because we're here and we're just slowly, chipping away at anti-crypto sentiment, anti-crypto policy. The States is the big one. It's the center for capital. So, that is really the one to win. And then once that's a little bit positive towards crypto, then you get the explosion of new protocols, new investment flows, which is very positive for this industry. May 23rd is the deadline for the Van Eck Ethereum ETF application. Now, if they do the same thing as they did with Bitcoin, the SEC will approve all of these at once if they're going to approve them. If they don't, then there are other deadlines from other issuers. But of course, all these issuers will essentially be filling out the same paperwork, right? So if one has an issue, it will be down to the individual issuer rather than some major issue that the SEC is saying, we can't approve any of them. So 23rd is the deadline. Look, we don't know what's going to happen. However, if the policy has shifted towards being more pro-crypto, that just sets us up for a great cycle. You don't need the ETF, but it is obviously going to help and be very positive for ETH, but then a lot of other DeFi stuff as well, changing the sentiment around that. Many of us out there also looking for alt season. It usually happens towards the latter stages of the bull market. That's outperformance of alts versus Bitcoin. The setup's right here. If we get the ETH ETF and policy shifts just a little bit to be more pro-crypto, that's the permission we need for alt season. If that happens, you've got to be positive about this bull market cycle. This is the euphoria zone, just shows where prices are moving up, right? So MVRV shows positive price action. You can see that when we get above one standard deviation, it's the euphoria zone, right? And it happens for a long time. We aren't there yet, so we're still early on. So prices are rising. You can just feel it happening. This cycle has a long way to go in price and time. You've got to be positive on this cycle, given what's happening, given that policy is shifting a little bit. Positive on this cycle, positive on crypto generally, actually having an impact and growing, and it's unstoppable, I think, at this stage. So very positive this cycle and for cycles ahead. If you do trade, check out the Bybit deposit bonus down below, and the crypto investor course has 300 videos on getting yourself set up in crypto as well. I'll leave the link below as well. I'm James, this is ManZG. Cheers for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.